How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the One Stop Podcast. We got a bunch of NBA news, storylines, and predictions for today. So we're gonna start off today with the most important one because we didn't cover it last on Monday because we all weren't here. But let's get into it. Nikola Jokic is the MVP. Michael's been covering the Denver Nuggets, so it's no surprise to him. So what do you
Yeah,
think, Michael?
I mean it was inevitable at this point. Who got second, Embiid or Curry? I think
Curry top five.
Curry was the closest to it, which makes sense. But the Nuggets were just better. And after Jamal Murray went out, who arguably he could be sometimes the best player on the Nuggets, they were even better without him, which is surprising. But Jokic is just so good. Embiid was good all season, but he got hurt. I think if he stayed healthy, it it could have been him because the Sixers were the one seed, but it was Jokic's to lose. So I mean, I'm happy to see it. He's who deserved it in my eyes.
Yeah, I think Jokic was the clear-cut winner. He got like 91 out of the 100 media votes, so well deserved by him. A fantastic season. I mean, he was doing everything, in a guard run league. He was doing all of that at the center position, and like you said, I think what really sealed it for him was when Murray went out with that ACL injury. That he elevated the team and continued to play better. He showed that he's not just a product of a pretty solid surrounding cast. He's a phenomenal player, and props to Jokic, man. It's refreshing to see the rise of the big man again. We finally got a big man winning the MVP. I love to see it.
Yeah, it's the first big man since Shaq. But what I like about Jokic's game is he's finesse and can be power at the same time. You got the best of both worlds with that. But yeah, like you said, Michael, it was inevitable. Honestly, he came out because I think he came out on top mainly because all the star players, the top tier number one players, who are like the most likely MVP candidates, they all got injured. I mean, you think about LeBron; he was leading the course for a good portion of the beginning of the season. Embiid was number two, had many in other people's minds was like number two. He had the power. He was just Sixers were winning. He was dominant, but then he got hurt. So, like I said, you can't fault someone for. Like I said this in one of my other podcasts. You can't fault someone for stepping up when others got hurt. So I'm not mad about the pick at all. But what came out of the shock to me was I don't know if it was like as supposed to be as a joke, but Derrick Rose got a vote, a first place vote.
Yeah,
He got the fans vote. That's why.
Oh, you got the
Because
fans.
the fans get one vote, so it was kind of just like we like you, D Rose.
I was reading the comments on that, and someone was said, "Wrong decade, Chief."
I mean, he had a good season. He was sixth man of the year finalist.
He
I
balled
love
out.
D Rose. Yeah.
I like that pick.
But the thing about Jokic that like even solidified the MVP. I know you can't vote, but like they vote before the regular season ends. But his playoff, like the series against Portland, was insane. He averaged 30 and 10, 50, 40, 90 shooting. They closed it out in 6 when I think everyone thought it was going to go to 7. So that was, I mean, if you could have voted after the first series, he still would have gotten it. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah. I just thought it was funny that when you go back to that D Rose thing, it was like the 5 finals. You had Jokic, Embiid, Rose, and then Giannis. It was like that was one name I just didn't expect to see. But I mean, yeah, Jokic was outstanding this year. Props to him. And yeah, I think, I kind of wish in a way the playoffs did matter a little bit because a lot of the times we see these players, that win MVP, they're in the playoffs 99% of the time. Like, I wish playoffs would factor into it a little bit, but, regular season and postseason, he's been doing it all. So well deserved.
Well, going back to the whole Curry thing about him getting second place, my thing with that was how come Damian Lillard didn't get that much of a rep like last year? Because think about it, Damian Lillard, it was in the same position as Steph Curry is this season, and if not, had like the same exact stats and same exact performance wise, but he didn't get that type of rep compared to Curry. What do you guys think about that?
I feel like, yeah, but I feel like because Curry's just a bigger name, even though they're like pretty much on the same level. Like I think Curry's better, but Lillard's like definitely right on his heels. But also for Curry, last season without Curry, the Warriors were the worst in the league. And then they get him back, and they're in the playoffs if not for the play-ins. So I think that's why, like, he's obviously insanely valuable to that team, but Jokic is just more valuable.
Yeah, I think a lot of it goes into like I don't think people realize how much like these shows like First Take, Undisputed, The Herd, like whatever, they control so much of the narrative in the NBA. Like these talk show hosts, these personalities have such a big impact on not just us, but like the whole media, the whole way that voting works. So it's crazy to see, but I wish it wouldn't happen so much because Lillard. I mean, we saw it this playoffs. Dude was unreal, doing stuff like we haven't seen since. Like, well, we saw people were calling it like Jordan-esque. It was ridiculous. So, I mean, it's just the media. Honestly, the media narrative is so controlling, and it's hard to distinguish sometimes.
So now we're going to go into the Coach of the Year was just announced. Tom Thibodeau on the Knicks won. I think everyone thought Monty Williams won earlier because the coaches voted for him. That's what I thought. So it was kind of surprised when I saw Thibodeau win it. But we talked about it, I think, a couple of weeks ago. We all said Thibodeau should have won.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're all pretty happy that he won. I mean, he turned the Knicks around completely, and they're like an actual destination now. They got the 4 seed. They played bad in the playoffs, but I mean, they're a force again, it's just fun to see. Madison Square Garden is just a fun place to watch a game.
I'll say with the whole Monty Williams and Thibodeau thing, like we said like weeks ago, you got to compare the rosters of what the coaches had and the expectations. Monty Williams, he had a couple years already with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, so he already formed kind of like that chemistry with them. Keep in mind, and you add Chris Paul, a perennial All-Star, a future first ballot Hall of Famer, All-NBA player, done everything except win a championship. That team is gonna go up because if you really notice, Chris Paul's he becomes how do I say it?
The Chris Paul effect.
He flourishes when he's the top dog and no one is coming for his throne. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With James Harden, he had to share that spotlight with him. With the Clippers, with Blake Griffin, he had to share the spotlight with him. But now with Phoenix, he's the undeniable, like he's the lead. Booker and DeAndre Ayton are too young to like take that step. So I think Monty Williams had much more to work with than compared to Tom Thibodeau. So and result wise, you gotta give your vote to Tom Thibodeau for that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like you said, Jesse, was just the rosters. I mean, I think Monty Williams did what he was expected to do, honestly. People knew this was going to be a top 4, top 5 team in the West. They were expected to be good. Now, albeit, obviously, I don't think many people had them as the 2 seed. So I think he did exceed expectations a little bit. But this team had already proven itself last year in the bubble when it went 8-0. It turned a lot of heads. I don't know what it was that got them going when the bubble came around, but they looked good. And then, honestly, this year you add Chris Paul, who just wins everywhere he goes. The Chris Paul effect is real. I think it was expected that they should have been where they were at. Again, they did a little better, but I think for that reason, Monty just did his job and he did it well. So I think obviously him as a candidate is fair, but Thibodeau is a lot just more impressive because the Knicks had horrible expectations. They weren't in the conversation. So to not only get them into the playoffs, but to get them into the playoffs as the 4 seed is just no one could have expected it. No one could have seen it. So you got to give it to Tibbs.
I think that's pretty much what helps Tibbs the most is that the Knicks were expected to be terrible again. And the Suns were they weren't expected to be the 2 seed, like you said. They're expected to at least fight for the playoffs, if not make it. And they've definitely exceeded. Like they look like, if it's not the Jazz, they're like the leading team to get out of the West right now. But the thing with Tibbs is he just like knows how to win. Like he goes in and he can win almost anywhere. Like he brings Taj Gibson. He's made like a player again. He knows him from Chicago. D Rose too. He like knows the players he needs to get wins. He doesn't need all these like he doesn't need to sign Chris Paul, even though he definitely would have taken Chris Paul. But the thing with Chris Paul, like you said, Jesse, he was so good on the Thunder when they were like supposed to have a half a chance to make the playoffs, and he got them into the 5 seed. So I get what you're saying about he needs to be like not necessarily the top dog. Like he's not the best player on the Suns. I don't think. I think it's Devin Booker, but he like the attitude. Like he needs to be the leader.
Yeah. And another thing with the whole with Thibodeau, he got the Garden rocking again. Honestly, if you guys looked at it, the playoffs, no one like I'm just reiterating what we said already, but no one expected the Knicks to be like this. No, like I think you could see the relationship that he has with his players, and they actually want to play with him. And I think that's the thing that both coaches had. Both players, both had their rosters want to play for them, and that's why they exceeded expectations in a sense because of that. But on to our next topic, a little game recap of the Hawks and the 76ers last night. So in our group message, Bill Ingram, the great Bill Ingram, was saying that the Sixers have a problem. What do you guys? And I think what he was referring to was Ben Simmons, but I'm not entirely sure. It was kind of cryptic message, but what do you guys think? What do you think is the Sixers' problem?
Well, first I want to say shout out to Bill. Great guy, great mentor, awesome dude. But if he was talking about Ben Simmons, I was cryptic. But if he was talking about Ben Simmons, I see both sides. But as someone who has always supported Ben Simmons, I'm not for it. I'm not for the Ben Simmons slander, and I'll explain why. I think, in my opinion, I said this last podcast, he's the best on-ball defending point guard in the league. Or honestly, the best, you could argue the best on-ball defending player in the league, despite his position, regardless of his position. And he does everything your team needs him to do except shoot. And that includes free throws, which he has been pretty awful at this series. I have to admit, it's bad. And so I don't know, but I feel like the defense that he provides on the team's best guard, which is so valuable. When you have a guy that can pick up any guard in the league and cause that kind of disruption, it messes up any offense. And he's still a great passer. He can still rebound, push the ball on the fast break, make plays. And he's 6'9". He's huge. The guy, he does everything you want for your team. He can't shoot, which is a problem offensively. But I just think defensively he more than makes up for it. That's just me, though. I've always been a Ben Simmons guy. But I don't know.
I've always liked Ben Simmons too. I think he does a lot of stuff that people don't give him credit for, like mainly defense. Mm-hmm. And he can push the fast break. He's up there with like Westbrook as like one of the best, I think. But I still think the Sixers are going to win this series just because the Hawks are just so young. Mm-hmm. And it showed in game 1. They were up by like, I don't even know what it was, like 20 something. And then they almost lost. And then they were up by like 7 with like 10 seconds left. And they still almost lost. And I think that's just their youth. And it just looked like the Sixers just knew how to win, even though they didn't. But I think they'll make it out.
Well, last night, I mean, they were up on the Sixers as well. But then that veteran presence came in with the Sixers. And they said, no, this isn't going to happen again. And they just I think it occurred at the end of the third quarter when Shake Milton made that buzzer beater 3 from about like almost logo range, but it was on the wing side. But as soon as he made that 3 to put him up by, I want to say 3 or 7, to put him up. It was to put him up. That's when the momentum changed because they were about to go into the fourth quarter with a good lead, and then they fouled Joel Embiid. So that's 2 free throws. Then the Sixers get the ball back, and they made a buzzer beater 3. So that's a 5-point swing within the last, I want to say 20 seconds, maybe. Don't quote me on that. But like little stuff like that is what like kills momentum and what gives it to the other team. So I'm not trusting this Hawks either. I got the Sixers winning. I think Embiid's gonna once again just show his dominance. He's gonna play around. I mean, because Embiid had was in 30s, I want to say, or maybe 40s.
Yeah, he had 40 and 15.
And that's the beauty of Embiid. Like, he can do that on any team because not every team has a center has power or size like that. You have Capella on the other side, and Capella is honestly like a stick. If we're being honest. He's a stick who just rim protects. He's not a guy that can stop someone in the post like that. If you post him up, he's gonna bang on you and it's done. You're done. Take a couple of hits to the chest from Embiid, you're gonna feel it. So, yeah, I got the Sixers. I'm not surprised about the win. I was surprised about game 1, but now I think the Sixers. I think Doc figured out what he had to do. Play Ben Simmons on Trae Young because that size advantage, you got it.
Well, I don't want to make any series predictions because I'm not gonna lie, my series predictions have been pretty awful so far on this podcast. They have been way off. So I'm gonna stay away from games, but I'm confident that the Sixers are gonna win this series too. And like you said, I don't even think it's just the veteran presence that the Sixers have. Obviously, having guys that have been in the league longer, but just all around, it's a better team. And I think the big difference is defensively. They have a huge defensive advantage on the Hawks. The Hawks, obviously, they can shoot the ball out the gym. They're an amazing team from range, and Trae Young has proven that he's not afraid of the spotlight. He can show up, but he had a rough game too. I think the defense was adjusted to make sure that, he can do what he wanted to do, because that's when that Hawks team is at their best. When Trae Young is getting easy buckets, when he's moving the ball around scoring. So things like that, it's tough to say now, but I think the Sixers just overall, the defense, the team they have in place, it's just a better overall team than the Hawks. And the veteran presence, like you guys said, that helps a lot. I'm gonna say Sixers win this one, but I'm not gonna say any games because I don't want to humiliate myself again.
I would say probably. I think the Hawks might win one in Atlanta. I think it might be the momentum kind of switches, or so it seems, for a while, because Trae Young is gonna get Atlanta rocking like he always does. But the Sixers, they're just a better team. They're just more well-rounded. Their bench is better. They also have good shooters. They have Seth Curry, Danny Green. Tobias Harris played good, and he kind of came through in the end of game 1 when it looked like they were going to come back. But no one can guard Embiid, really. Like, Capella can't. I don't know. I mean, who can? He's just so big, and he's quick. He's just kind of like a freak of nature.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but right after the lob that Trae Young threw to Capella, Embiid was like, all right, I'm making this personal. And it looked so easy. In that moment, I was just like, nobody's guarding this guy. Nobody.
That's the type of stuff you want to see from your best player.
Yeah.
Like, you want to see that dog in them.
Yeah.
And, I think the only person who could take out Embiid is Joel Embiid's legs and back.
His knees. His knees will take him down.
That's the only thing I'll stop Joel. All right. But yeah, I think the Hawks are gonna win at least one in Atlanta because they have an advantage. They have one advantage that the Sixers don't have, and that's being they're playing free. They have nothing to lose, honestly. The expectation was get to the first round, especially because it's their first time. It's their first go around in the playoffs with this specific core. Getting past the first round was already exceeding expectations. Now let's just see let's see how far we can go now. I'm pretty if they were to lose here on out, the season was a success in front office's mind. Maybe not to the players, but to the front office, the season was a success. So I think they'll take one more. They'll take either game 3 or 4 in the A. But let's also go to another game that happened last night, that being the Jazz and the Clippers.
Ooh.
Oh, man, the Jazz pulled off a comeback against the Clippers. My thoughts on it was Donovan Mitchell is just that guy. I've been saying it for a long time. Ever since I saw him in the playoffs when he took on OKC and took him out. That's when I became a Donovan Mitchell fan, and just to see his growth, it's like a rose blooming right before you.
I think there was. Oh yeah, you go. My bad.
Paul George came back to pandemic P. He did not really. He came alive a little bit towards the fourth quarter when he had the free throws, hit a 3-pointer, but majority of the game he wasn't there. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm skeptical to say anything because this is like the Clippers that we always see. Like Paul George hadn't really had a good shooting game in the playoffs, like really good shooting, and Kawhi didn't play that great either. But Donovan Mitchell's insane. He's 45, and it looks easy for him. Like it's not like a forced 45. It's at least not what the eye test says. Like he goes out there and scores. And I think there was a graphic that said he's in like the top 4 of points per game in the playoffs with a minimum of 25 games. What is he, like 24? He's up there with like LeBron and Jordan.
I would have doubted he went off last in the bubble against Nuggets when he had like 57 and 50, and
that was crazy with Jamal Murray. They were going back and forth.
That guy is he's on another level. But my bad, Prabhat. I got one more thing to say.
Oh, you got it.
My thing with the Jazz, they did this without their point guard, Mike Conley.
Mm-hmm.
Think about when they get their point guard back. That's just another weapon to add on to it. But I will say there should be some optimism for the Clippers. That being that they came off 2 days rest from a long, grueling 7-game series with the Dallas Mavericks, and they still had a chance to tie it. You gotta give some type of props for that. If Paul George were to hit some shots, you could say that then maybe that could have put the Clippers over the top.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm the Clippers, you have a sense of optimism because, like I said, long, grueling 7-game series with the Dallas Mavericks. Kawhi Leonard played out of his mind in game 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
It was just I think it was a burnout game, but even for a burnout game, look how well they did.
Yeah, I want to bring up this question now because I see it all the time. If you guys had to list your top 5 players under 25, there's so much debate about it. Obviously, there's Luka, Tatum, Trey, Zion, Ja, Donovan. Obviously, what would your guys' top 5 be for under 25? I see it go around all the time.
I think Luka has to be number 1.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I'd put Zion in my top 5. I think.
What?
I don't think so. I mean, what has he done though?
That's fair. I think
he's good. He's really good, but he hasn't. Like, he's not better than Tatum. He's not better than Mitchell. I don't think he's better than Trey. I would say. I think Donovan is 2, or actually Tatum is 2. Donovan's 3. 4. Trey, and then I don't know 5. Maybe Morant
or Booker.
Oh, it'd be Booker.
Yeah,
that's my 5.
I would go for sure Luka number 1 for sure. That's without a question. Number 2, Donovan as well. Number 3, Tatum.
Okay.
4, Book, and then 5
is tough, right?
Ooh, because there's a lot you can go with this. Because you could go Bam Adebayo. You can go Ben Simmons, De'Aaron Fox. A dark horse, which I think this guy needs way more recognition, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
He's a beast.
Like, you can go, like, Zion, I would say skill-wise, he's not there compared to all these other players. Skill-wise, heck no. But size and strength-wise, he's better than all these other guys.
He's like a Shaq with handles, kind of. He shoots like 60% around the rim and gets like 26, 27 a game.
He's only 6'5". That's a crazy thing.
He's crazy.
Jaylen Brown could be in there too.
Yeah.
And Brandon Ingram. There's a lot. That's pretty crazy.
It's a hard lot. It's hard to choose. It's hard to choose that fifth one.
The future's bright. The future's very
bright. But Donovan's got to be in there, and Luka's got to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tatum. I think those three are on. You can't.
Yeah, you can debate 4 and 5. But anyways, back to Jazz Clippers real quick before we move on to the next segment. So I got sidetracked, but I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts. But Jesse, like you said, I think if you're the Jazz, you have to look at game 1 and be like, we need to be better. Like, yeah, they won. They had a good comeback, and the ending to that game was crazy. One of the best games of the year for sure. But Paul George, who, had a great series, honestly, last series against my Mavericks, unfortunately. But he shot 4 for 19 yesterday, and they only lost by 3. Kawhi also didn't have his best game. Only like 22 or something. He didn't have his best game, and the Clippers only lost by 3, and they had the lead. They could have won that game, but Donovan is ridiculous. They came storming back. Gobert was there at the end with that clutch block. Honestly, if I'm the Jazz, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, we got away with that one. That's my mindset. If I'm the Jazz, it's like we got lucky. We need to be better because I don't think Paul George is going to go 4 for 19 or 3 for 20. You think?
Is it surprising that he went 4 for 19? Yeah. Like, are you shocked?
No, but look, I'm
against Utah too before the same team.
Joe Ingles has his number.
I don't expect it to continue. That's just me. And if if he does again. If he does it for the whole series, I will come on this podcast and I will publicly apologize. I will come on here with a pandemic peace shirt. I'll say sorry. I don't think he's going to do it again. I think the slander's gotten to his head. I think he's just like, it can't continue. He's already down tremendously. It can't go worse from here. It only has to go up. So if I'm the Jazz, man, all right, here's my hot take, man. One of these have to land. I think Paul George is going to have a good game too. I don't have any reason. There's no reason to believe that. There's no backing for it. I have no evidence to support it. It's just my gut feeling.
What's a good game, though? What's a good game?
Game 2. I think he's going to respond.
But what is it?
Like, how much does he score?
Like, what do you think? What's his impact going to be? Can't say just a good game. Like, what is it going to be?
Well, I'm not going to say 30 or anything.
He has to score 30 to have a good game. He's too good not – but he has to shoot over 50% to be a good game.
I'm going to go 27 points.
All right.
I'm going to go 27 points shooting above 50. I think he's going to have a big 4th. All right, that's my hot take. Mark it.
He needs 8 free throws at least. He needs 8 free throws.
He has to, yeah.
Book it. That's my hot take for today. I don't think PG's going to do it again, and if he does, I will be on here next show with the shirt.
Paul George, he just needs to step up because he kind of put a target on his back. I don't know. This guy's always put like a target on his back.
He says he loves the pressure, but he hasn't performed in the pressure.
He doesn't. I need that Indiana Paul George. We need the Indiana Paul George, but I don't think we can get him because when he passed the ball to CJ Miles, come on, dude. He passed the ball. He passed again in the last series against the Mavericks. Passed the ball to Terrence Mann. He didn't want to take the shot. Last night, passed the ball to Marcus Morris. Didn't want to take the shot. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he really likes the pressure. I'm not 100% sure.
That's what he says. I'm just going by what he says.
Yeah.
He always says we're not worried. We like the pressure. He said he likes being called playoff P by the fans. He's getting overrated chants thrown at him. So he's got to show up.
Yeah, he does. Especially after all the stuff he was talking at the beginning of the season, like, oh, these people are gonna see like on the All Smoke podcast.
If he chokes game 2, the slander on next episode will be terrible.
I'll go in on him. I don't like
The
him to be.
slander will be legendary. It will be historic slander from the one stop.
Yeah, I'm not a big Paul George fan. After what he did to my Lakers twice, he played us twice, so he's dead to me. But let's go to our next topic, a game preview. Tonight's game between the Suns and the Nuggets. The MVP, Nikola Jokic, plays against Devin Booker and CP3. What do you guys thoughts? Let's go with Michael since Michael covers his Nuggets.
I'm scared for the Nuggets. The Suns look nasty. But I think Jokic had a bad game for Jokic. He had like 20 in game one. Let me see how much he had. I think it was 20. He has to have a better game. He said in the press conference yesterday, he's kind of glad that the MVP stuff is behind him. He can kind of just focus on just the game. People aren't going to ask him about that anymore. So I think he'll have a big game. But I think the Suns, I think they're going to take game two also. They just look good. Devin Booker, they'll only lose if he has a bad game, I think.
I've got to go Suns too, man. And it's not disrespect to the Nuggets or their team. The Suns just look so good, particularly Devin Booker. And he didn't even have a huge game one this series, but the way he came off of game 6 against the Lakers and the way he performed, I've got to go Suns, man. Chris Paul said he's like 90% recovered from that shoulder injury. That's what he said this morning, I think. So that's good too. And he looked good. I think he was their best player in game one. So it's tough, man. I can't see a situation where the Nuggets are going to be able to win this game. I mean, it looks pretty promising for the Suns. I mean, the arena was just going crazy. After that Torrey Craig lob, I was thinking, oof. This was looking bad for the Nuggets. So I think they're gonna show out in game 2 tonight, and I think the Nuggets are just gonna have to respond at home because I don't see how you're stopping Booker, Ayton, and Chris Paul, and then you've got Elfrid Payton, who just I don't understand. Or no, Cameron. So, oh my gosh, Cameron Payne. I always get Elfrid Payton and Cameron Payne's names messed up. I'm sorry, Cameron Payne. This dude's just come out of nowhere. I don't know, man.
He really has.
This team. I got the Suns. I think they're still riding the wave there of the Lakers after beating the Lakers. They still feel on top of the world, and they're just gonna keep riding that wave until it ends, honestly. And I don't think it will end. If it does, it's gonna come at the hands of Utah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But besides that, Booker's still playing out of his mind. Chris Paul looks 100% again. That's scary thought because I think the Nuggets don't really have as much firepower as the Nuggets don't have as much firepower as the Suns do, in my opinion. Because if you look at the roster wise, Nuggets have the MVP Nikola Jokic. They have Michael Porter Jr. They have is Will Barton's back now or not yet?
He didn't play yet.
So is the Campazzo, but he's not really like a scoring threat like that. He's more of another playmaker on the floor.
Yeah.
You have Paul Millsap who can get you a bucket off the bench when you need it. But not compared to like what the firepower the Suns have with Chris Paul, Devin Booker. That this is a series where I think they'll miss Jamal Murray the most. Because they need someone to go out there and get a bucket for them.
Yeah.
And Jamal Murray was actually playing like really good defense before he got hurt, which is like no one talked about it, but he was playing really good defense. And it kind of sucks for the Nuggets. They go from playing Lillard and McCollum to Paul and Booker. They go from like 2 of the best guards to 2 of the other best guards. But I think this one's actually like harder for them to guard because trapping Chris Paul is different than trapping Lillard because Lillard's more dangerous with the ball in his hand, but Paul can just do like a perfect pass somewhere. Yeah. And Devin Booker, I mean, he's been doing good with the doubles too. They don't send it like every time at him, but the Suns, they all their starters had double-digit points. They just look really well-rounded right now. So I think if it becomes Jazz Suns, I think it's gonna be a pretty crazy series. Just two like almost perfect teams.
Let's go. Oh, you got something else to say, Prabhat? Any final words?
I don't know. I just think it's gonna be tough for the Nuggets, man. I don't know. I don't honestly. I don't see them winning that many games this series. Yeah, I'm staying away from the game predictions because I've been the real pandemic P with my predictions.
Yeah, right.
I've been way off P. I am the pandemic P of the series predictions. So I'm just gonna leave it at the Nuggets are in trouble, man. That's all I got to say. I think they're in trouble.
We're all in agreement. The Nuggets are in trouble. Suns should win this game.
Yeah.
All right then. So today's news, LeBron James is changing his number from 23 to number 6.
Does it matter? Does it matter?
Dude,
like in the grand scheme of things.
This is the thing I don't like about LeBron, man. It's like he just wants to be in the headlines. If you really
It is
about it.
It matters
just
because it's
publicity.
LeBron James.
It really it's narcissistic of him. Like
It's just the publicity because isn't he wearing 6 in Space Jam 2? So he wants people to buy the Lakers jersey with 6 because it's like Space Jam 2. That's what I think it is. I mean, he's great. He's a great player. He's been 6 before. He's been 23. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I don't think him changing from 23 to 6 is gonna change his style of play if he's going to be. I don't know. I saw like on some of these accounts this morning, it was like LeBron's changing his number back to 6, and then they're showing highlights of him like jumping like that lob where he jumped over the dude and caught the lob.
Like 2013 Miami Heat LeBron.
Yeah.
He's just going to go back to that.
I'm like, the number's not giving him superpowers. Like, we're still going to see the same LeBron James, maybe, that we saw this year. I think he'll respond better, but I don't think it's a big deal. It's just changing the number, man.
I don't see it as a big deal either. I mean, he did say he was going to change the 6 and give the 23 to Anthony Davis, but reports are saying Anthony Davis is actually going to stick with the number 3 instead. So
I time to go off, Jesse. You
as a Lakers fan, I'm gonna say this as a Lakers fan. I think it doesn't matter. He's not getting his jersey retired with the Lakers.
Yet. There's a chance he can.
If he brings one more championship, then yes, I think he should get his jersey retired. But if he doesn't get, if it's just sticks with one, then I don't think he'll get his jersey retired. If he does, it'll just be because of the name, honestly.
But now what? So if he switches to 6, let's say they win the championship next year. Which jersey Rick's retired? 6 or 23?
Whichever one he. Oh, well, if he wants.
If he wants one in each.
Knowing LeBron, he'll ask for both. He'll be like, just retire both of them.
I'll tell him straight. Oh, if I was Genie Buck, I'll tell him straight up. You're only picking one, dude. You don't get that Kobe treatment.
I think it would have to be 23.
It'd have to be 23. Yeah,
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
But he's going to get it retired in Cleveland for sure. I think Miami for sure.
For sure.
Would he be the first if he gets it with the Lakers with 3 teams? Or has there been someone else?
Will.
Oh, yeah.
Because Will got with the Lakers, the Sixers, and the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be pretty insane company if he gets it.
Yeah, that's pretty like top tier stuff. Right?
I wouldn't be surprised just because it's LeBron. If he doesn't win anything else, I feel like they'd still retire his jersey in LA. Just because he's LeBron. And they're like, oh, we had LeBron for 4 years. He won a championship.
That jersey getting retired no matter what, man.
I don't know, dude. Like, as a Laker fan, I'm gonna be honest. Like the championship from last year, it did feel good winning a championship, but it didn't feel the same. There wasn't that same energy to it. You know what I mean?
It was the bubble, man. The bubble was. It's like, not the same when there's not fans. It's not LeBron's fault, but
not LeBron's fault. But yeah, he brought us a chip. So if he brings one more, then yeah. But he has to get his jersey. If he gets his jersey retired, it's coming after Pau Gasol gets his jersey retired because that
Absolutely.
man needs his jersey retired already. I don't know what they're taking so long about that. With that,
Maybe LeBron will give 23 to like Jared Dudley, and then he'll just have a crazy year next year.
imagine. I think Caruso.
I feel like Caruso would probably like be like, "Oh, LeBron, can I please wear 23?"
Let me get 23, man.
Get 23 retired. Get Caruso up in the rafters.
That would be something. Or maybe Kuzma will take it. The
Get
number
off
3 option.
Anybody but Kyle Kuzma. He can get his chances.
So we're gonna wrap up today's show with a little a picture that I saw on Instagram, and let me bring it up right now. Share screen. Preference open. Let's see.
I got my team ready to go. We're gonna have a little draft.
Yeah, we got a little draft right now. So
Should we do it like we each take a point guard and then a shooting guard?
yeah, is you guys showing? Is it showing on your guys' screen?
Yeah, we're seeing the podcast.
Oh
Yeah,
wait.
You have to go to brand, and then I think it should be in there.
Oh wait, hold up. I'm trying to like pull it up right now. Hold on.
While we're waiting, though, I just want to say I'm very excited about my team in
The Mavs.
Oh no,
this team you're
this
drafting.
draft. I mean,
Yeah.
the Mavs too. The Mavs too. They look hungry for next year, but I'm just trying not to think of them right now. Doing my best to forget what just happened.
So a little preview of what we're gonna do. It's like one of those. You have $15. Pick your starting 5. Each player is a different price value, $1 through $5, and we're doing best of the 2010s. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. Some interesting players on there. We got Zindris Ilgauskas for $1 in the center category. Anxious to see if anyone snags him.
I don't want to say anything, but
I'm not giving anything away.
I like my team.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me try something else. Let me try.
While we're waiting, Prabhat, what do you think is going to happen with Porzingis?
Oof. Man, we're getting into the Dallas Mavericks talk now. I don't know, man. Kristaps Porzingis. I love Porzingis, and I know he had a pretty underwhelming playoff performance this year. But
I'd say very underwhelming.
I said give it one more year, and we'll see.
That's fair.
All right.
It sucks. He just looks so different than before his injury, which it just sucks.
Yeah,
because he was nasty in New York. He was so good.
Yeah, he was exciting, especially after all the hate he got when they drafted him and then turned it around. It was fun, but I hope he comes back because he had a good playoffs last year. He had a really good playoffs when he was healthy for the 3 games he played. I hope he can get back to that. I don't want to trade him yet, but we'll see, man.
Do you think the Mavs make a big trade? Like, do you think they go after someone like McCollum or something?
They've got to get somebody. They need a third option because Tim Hardaway, honestly, he played out of his mind.
He was basically the second option.
Yeah, he was. And I love Tim Hardaway, but he can't be the second option on a championship team. As great as he was, he really played good. But he's got to do more.
There it is.
Here we go.
We'll resume the talk one day.
Yeah.
So here's our little draft preview that we're gonna go with, and who wants to start it off?
I can start it off with a point guard. I'm gonna take the $2 point guard, Tony Parker.
Ooh, okay. That's a pretty good one. Solid.
Jesse, you want to go next?
We're going point guards. I'm going $3, Jason Kidd.
All right.
I am going to go with a big purchase here. I'm going to go with $4 Chris Paul because wherever this dude goes, he wins. There's not a weakness to his game, so I'm taking CP3.
All right. Moving to the shooting guards. We got, let's say who's in there. We got Kobe, Iverson, D Wade, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. I'm going $1 Reggie Miller. I think it's a crime he's $1. Even though he was getting old in 2000, he was shooting like crazy still.
You guys already know where I'm going with this one.
Of course.
Give me the big bucks. Give me Kobe, Bean, Bryant. We're going with a $5 purchase.
That's fair.
It. Mike, I'm gonna tail off you because I also think it is a crime that they put this man at $1.
Yeah.
I don't know how you have Ray Allen above Reggie Miller. Is it because he won more championships, or I don't get it.
He was younger.
Yeah, he was younger.
Okay, when he was with Milwaukee, sure, but you've got to put Reggie at 2, but I'm taking him at 1. That's a top 3 shooter in this league ever.
Okay, so you got $5.
I would agree.
You got $5.
I'm taking Reggie. I'm at $5 right now.
All right, small forwards. We got LeBron, Paul Pierce, T-Max in the middle, I think, Carmelo, and Vince Carter. I'm staying a little cheaper, going $3 for Rockets, Tracy McGrady. He's going to come in when we're down 11 with like 12 seconds left and win us the game.
I'm going with the same pick, Tracy McGrady. I got my wing players of Kobe and Tracy. Can't go wrong with
solid.
that.
All right, I have to go. Go ahead.
What am I at? I'm at 8. I'm at 11.
Who was your point guard, Jesse?
Jason Kidd.
Jason. Okay, you took Jason Kidd. All right. I'm surprised no one took LeBron because I'm taking LeBron. Because you've already got CP3 who wins all the time, and LeBron he's always in the finals no matter where he is. So I'm taking LeBron, and he's an equally great passer. I love what LeBron can do, so I'm taking LeBron with my third pick. I'm at $10 now.
You're at 10.
Jesse, what are you at?
I'm at 11.
I'm at 6. I've been doing some discount shopping, so we're gonna buy some big bucks here. For the power forwards, we got Tim Duncan, Dirk, KG, Chris Bosh, and Amari Stoudemire. I'm going $4. Dirk Nowitzki, the Mavericks legend, the fadeaway king.
I love it. Wait, why? I need to know why.
Well, if we look at my team right now, we got Tony Parker, facilitator, Reggie Miller for the shooting. We got T-Mac to score whenever. We got Dirk just to be that. I mean, I don't know what option he'd be on this team. He might be first, but it's never bad to have Dirk. It was a toss-up between Dirk and KG, but I like Dirk here.
All right. For my power forward, I'm going $1 for Suns, Amari Stoudemire.
That's a steal.
So I got Jason Kidd, Kobe, T-Mac, and Amari. I got, what am I at? I'm at $12.
All right. I want you guys to take a wild guess where I'm going here.
I think you're going to spend $4.
You would be correct. I am taking the big German, the big schnitzel, my guy, Dirk Nowitzki. I love that man. Love everything he did for the Mavericks franchise. I gotta go him. And so far I've got Chris Paul, Reggie Miller, LeBron, and Dirk. The shooting on this team outside of LeBron, because I'm guessing this is Cleveland LeBron, right?
Yeah.
So outside of LeBron, the shooting on this team is ridiculous. And I've got 2 incredible passers to dish it out to Reggie Miller or Dirk Nowitzki whenever. So I'm at 14 right now.
So you're ending it with Ilgauskas at the
That's the only drawback of this team.
He was not bad.
No, yeah. Big Z
was that guy. He was that guy.
He was good.
Yeah, I actually before the podcast started, I actually went to go look at his stats just to see if this was okay. And I am more than okay with it. He scored 17 points per game one season.
Yeah,
That's
2002.
solid.
I think 2002 or 2003. Yeah.
Yeah, it
He was
was
good.
2003 had 15, 2004 was 17. So I'm okay with Big Z. I'm taking Big Z in my paint. I want that size.
So since you got your whole roster, your starting five done, go ahead and explain it. Explain to us what the reason why you picked these players and what kind of game are you trying to play.
All right. So I'm assuming that we're taking 2000s players and putting them today, right?
Yeah.
All right. So LeBron and CP, two of the most winningest players ever. I think Chris Paul is number one in win shares per 48 minutes or so. I don't know. He's ridiculous. He wins a lot of games. And LeBron is about to be number one in win shares. All these guys do is win. So they're on their own offensive threats. They can do whatever they want with the ball. My mid-range game is going to be elite with Chris Paul. LeBron in his prime was a great mid-range shooter. So attacking the basket, whatever. And if the defense collapses on one of them, I've got Reggie Miller and Dirk Nowitzki at any point, probably wide open to shoot the ball. And more often than not, it's going to go in. So I think the shooting on this team is going to be great. I think the passing, the ball movement is going to be great. I just love what CP and LeBron can do with the ball when they're getting doubled, because they're going to get doubled. And Dirk's going to be open. He's going to hit his shots. Reggie's going to hit his shots. If I need someone to hit a last-minute bucket, I've got Dirk. I've got LeBron. I've got Reggie's clutch too. Reggie's very clutch. I've got shot makers everywhere. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I only got Big Z because he's the only one I could afford. But I'm not mad with it because he's a big guy. What is he, 7'?
He was like 7'4" or something.
Yes, he was huge. So I like Big Z. He can definitely get a bucket around the rim. And that's my team, man. I think the spacing, the shooting, the ball movement is going to be elite. I like it. So yeah, CP, Reggie Miller, LeBron, Dirk, and Big Z. That's my
Jesse,
five.
you want to go next?
Yeah, all right, I'll go. So for my final position, my final spot, we're going with Ben Wallace.
Oh,
He was dangerous.
So we round out everything. I got Jason Kidd as my point guard, Kobe Bean as my shooting guard, T-Mac as my small forward, Omari as my power forward, and we got Ben Wallace at my center position. Now,
I like it.
What this tells me right away is I got dogs on my team. I got people who are going to go after it, like competitors, real competitors. We're going to break it down. Jason Kidd, arguably one of the greatest point guards, top 5 point guards of all time. He's a true point guard, plays defense, gets assists, steals. Everyone wants that floor general. So I want the ball in his hands at all times. I mean, look what he did with Team USA. Made everything work. So that's why I want the ball in his hands. My wing defenders and my offensive wings, Kobe Bryant and T-Mac. You can't get better than that, honestly. They're both 1-1 the same. It's just T-Mac was just taller, according to Kobe. So I don't got to speak on itself about those two. Those two are just get me a bucket whenever I need them. Number 4, I'm a power forward, Amari Stoudemire. Pick and roll with Jason Kidd. I mean, look what he did with Steve Nash. You think Jason Kidd can't do that also? And if not, Jason and intensity, defensive wise, can run, freakish athleticism. That's all. Same thing with Ben Wallace, freakish athleticism, freakishly strong for his size. Went at it with Shaq, stopped Shaq in the 2004 finals. Went to, I want to say, 4 straight NBA conference finals. I like that. I like this team. This is a grit and grind team right here. That's gonna make everyone work for their buckets.
So it's a really good defensive team too. The defense is ridiculous.
All right. Here comes the best team. But I got to make a switch. I accidentally picked the wrong power forward. I'm going down $1,
no.
and I'm picking Kevin Garnett. I know it's gonna make you upset, Prabhat, but I need Kevin Garnett, and then round it off. I actually have $6 left, but I'm gonna save $1, and I'm gonna take Shaq. I'm just gonna keep that dollar in the pocket. Buy a free agent. So I got Tony Parker, Reggie Miller, T-Mac, KG, and Shaq. And you're saying Jesse's team was defensive? Someone's looking scary. And you mess with any of these players, they're getting 5 dogs in their face. Just like Jason Kidd, you got Tony Parker as the floor general. Reggie Miller, knock down threes. T-Mac, you just pass it to him when you need a bucket. No problem. Garnett and Shaq, I mean.
See, like, I wanted Garnett too, but I didn't want to get Ilgauskas for that.
Garnett was
that guy.
Minnesota.
It was either him or Tim Duncan for the best at the time.
Yep.
Y'all make me feel bad about my Ilgauskas pick now, man.
No, I mean he's not bad. I mean he's on this list.
It's a solid pick, but
it's just I'm not gonna lie. I thought about going Garnett and Ming because Yao Ming when he was healthy was nice. He was a great player, but I don't know. I like it though, Mike. I like it.
No one can stop Shaq. I mean, Ben Wallace did it once, but come on, come on.
So I was also thinking Yao Ming, but then I was like, I want speed on this team as well.
Yeah,
I want speed, and Yao Ming doesn't cut it on speed.
To be fair, I think all 3 of these teams would have won some finals.
Fair.
Honestly, yeah, it would been a good. It would be good games. So yeah, that's gonna wrap us up today. Thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll see you guys again Friday. And we're going to preview and recap everything that happened from now until Friday. Have a good one, guys. Peace.